To nobody's surprise, interest rates went up again in Canada, and they went up another 75 points, which takes the overnight lending rate to 3.25%. Now, this is going to impact people with variable rate mortgages, and it's also going to trigger a lot of mortgages at the trigger point, and that's going to mean that your payment is no longer covering all of the interest, so you're going to have to pay more money. Now, your bank will reach out to you about that, or it will automatically happen, but it's very likely that for a lot of Canadians, your monthly mortgage payment is going to go up. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tom Storey, and this is going to be a fun video. I'm going to bring in one of my good friends in the industry in just a second, but just before I do that, I'm going to ask if you could like this video. That would be great. Also, if you want to subscribe to the channel, our goal is still to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And after you watch this video, if you want to book a call with me directly, go into the first link in the description and you can do that. So without any further ado, Steve, are you there?
What's going on, man? I'm sorry to disappoint all your viewers. You said you had a special guest, and now it's me.
Well, Steve's here. He's a guest at least. You know, both of us had guessed 75 points. I got cut out of Daryl's video. Unfortunately, I didn't make the final cut.
Noticed that.
So we saw this coming. Now, one of the things that we had talked about offline before this is that I didn't read the full release. I just heard that it was 75 points. You think they're not done?
I also didn't read. So they didn't have a meeting, but they did a press release because it wasn't a full press conference. And my understanding is they have left the door open to say, hey, this ain't it.
Right. Now, are you worried about all these variable rate mortgages that we even talked about in the last podcast episode with Zen? Do you think this is actually going to impact it to the point that we're going to have a flood of listings hit the market now because people can't afford to make their payments, or how's this going to play out?
I think there's a very good chance and very good possibility that, yeah, there's going to be a bunch of people that took a gamble early this year on variable rate, and now the worst case scenario has come true. Right. I've always been, I know, Tom, you and I go back about this all the time, fixed versus variable. I've always been a chicken, and I've always taken the fixed as much as I possibly can. And right now, today, if I'm not mistaken, I think fixed and variable are within what?
Pretty much the same. They're close.
Almost identical, within a quarter anyway. So there's a really good chance that people should convert to a lock-in right now. There is some serious risk that I don't think anybody foresaw coming in February and March of interest rates getting this high and out of control so quickly.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think anyone thought this was coming. Like nobody. No one woke up this year and thought we were going to be in this position now. Talking more to that is that we are now heading into what is typically it's the second busiest time of the year in most real estate markets, the fall market. We've seen a bit more inventory, but still not a ton. Have you seen since we've started September, basically in your market, does it feel like fall market? Are things happening, or are people still kind of waiting on the sidelines?
Well, we got the rate hike of 1% on my birthday, July 13th this year. And my market here outside of Vancouver shut off for 30 days. Like we did, as a team that normally does anywhere between 6 and 15 transactions a month, we did 1. So it was done. And then everyone has started to since come back to the market. So for the next 2 weeks after that, we sold the expected amount of properties, 5 or 6 properties within that amount of time. What I'm interested to see is, did those people now already price in this next rate hike? Because everybody was saying, okay, for sure it's going up again. But we have seen now much more activity in the market, getting more deals together, more showings on our listings. And an interesting fact here in my market of the Fraser Valley, overall inventory of listings is dropping.
And was August better than July for you guys? Or was it still slightly down?
It was slightly down, but that's because the first part of July was still rocking them pretty good, right? It was that midpoint of July 13th that really shut off our market.
I find it kind of hilarious because there was a ton of news articles in Toronto saying that sales were up 15% month over month. I'm like, yeah, I hope so. Because July was so quiet, right? Like I was saying I thought August would be better. It was better. It wasn't that much better, right? I guess like where do we think the market goes from here? Is the rest of this year, whether this is the rate hike, the final rate hike or not, do we think that just people are now like, okay, this is what it is. This is what it's going to cost me. I'm going to go do what I need to do? Or you think most people are still going to kind of hang tight and watch to see what happens?
I think, well, we're seeing evidence that the people that have a need or a want are coming back to the marketplace.
Right.
I do think this isn't it. I think there's a really good chance that in the Bank of Canada's mind, if the Bank of Canada has a mind, that they want to get to 3.5%. So that's another quarter point in November. I can't see them doing a quarter point though. So that leads me to, another half point. And then I think they're going to hold steady in December, which is, they never raise rates for Christmas, right? Nobody wants a higher mortgage payment for Christmas. So that's going to continue to have a downward pressure, specifically on my suburban market. And there is a chance, I don't know if it's a very good chance, but it could be 50-50. There is a chance that we lose all of 2021's gains in my market. So we have currently just stepped out of 2022. They're all gone. A couple of markets have slid back a year. Most of my markets right now in the Fraser Valley Board area are still about 10% positive from last year at this time. But given the way rates are continuing to rise, there's a very good chance that anything from 2021 is gone. 2020, I can't see us losing unless we get like another 1 to 2% on top of where we're at now.
In the last 2 weeks, we've offered on several properties for buyers, and then we're actually in competition. There was more than one bid. There was 6 bids on one of them. So it's like we're finding this weird thing right now where certain pockets are still moving really well, but overall there's a sense that like if it is not a turnkey move-in ready property, it's going to be sitting for a while. Even if you price it correctly, stage it, make it look amazing, it's still going to take you 30, 35 plus days to get to the point that you actually find a buyer. Are you seeing certain pockets are still busy for you guys, like any property type or segment, or is it just across the board still like relatively quiet?
For sure, condos are still doing the best. Obviously, most affordable. People are pushed down into that price range. Yep. They always lag, right? So houses always go up first. In our market, we have houses, townhouses, condos as our major. We don't have semis like you guys do. So we will see houses take off, then townhouses, then condos, and it slows down in that same manner. So some pockets in our area, I'm thinking, for instance, South Langley, those detached homes are down 35% since the peak. Right now, they were only at that peak for 2 months, right? Like they weren't there for very long, but the market there has come back absolutely dramatically, and that is kicking most buyers right now, or most people in thinking about doing something in the market. The move up people are doing really well right now, right? Yeah. The people coming out going, I've been in that townhouse for 10 years and now I can get to a detached house. Those are the people that are actively coming to the market.
That's what I want to ask you next, and we'll wrap it up here. Where is the opportunity? So we discussed move up buyers. I am one of those people. I have now sold my property I was selling, and I'm actively looking for a house because the gap just made sense to do it right now. Is there another segment of the market where there's massive opportunity other than move up buyers, or is that the main place that we should be focusing?
I think that's where I'm seeing it right now. Letting people know that it's okay if you're trying to get from that townhouse up to the detached house, or even right now, even some condo to detached house moves are looking pretty good. Investors are not back yet. They're looking at carrying costs, saying even with 25% increased rents year over year, still they're not where they want to be to carry like a condo rental or anything like that. So specifically right now, it is those people looking to do the move up. I don't see anybody else getting interested, except for they're coming out, those people that are just looking for sellers that are hurting.
Yeah.
We are getting that segment come out now. I'm getting agents phoning saying, how motivated is your seller? I'm like, have you shown the property? And they're like, nope, I just want to know how much I can get off the price. And if you're purchasing a property to benefit off of someone else's loss, you're purchasing it for a bad reason, right? Like you need to look at the financial investment you're making and not just to hurt somebody else, right?
I had a call this morning on one of my listings that had been on the market for 22 days, which is like normal right now. And I had an agent call. She's like, "Hi, the buyer's just wondering why it's been on the market for 22 days." I said, "Oh, well, because it hasn't sold yet." Like, what else do you want me to tell you? Go show it. Tell me if they like it, you know? But there are people creeping around. And actually, I'm going to do another video on this, but if you've listened this long, here's a little heads up. If you want to go into, or just email me, tom@storeyteam.ca. I have a list that I've put together that we can search, Steve, in our system. In the description, we can search the word motivated. And there's a lot of listings recently that literally say motivated seller. If you want that list, email me. I'll send you that current list, and we're going to keep a running thing going for people that are interested. But, and the only thing I'll add is that I do have some investor clients that are cash heavy, large down payment, that are saying like, okay, now I like these opportunities if it were at the right price. So we're seeing that as well. Anything else you want to share before we wrap it up?
No, man. Thanks for having me on. It's kind of fun to do somebody else's channel.
Hey, so if you watched this video and you liked me and Steve kind of just bantering with each other and chatting, well, we have a podcast. It's called The Tom Storey Show. If you haven't subscribed to that channel yet, I'll put it in the description. Our goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers there by end this year. I think we're over 700 now, Steve, as we put out this video.
Plus. Yeah,
700 plus. Come join us. We have awesome guests on, and it's this type of conversation, but for an hour every single week on Sundays. It goes on YouTube, it goes on podcast platforms, and we would love to see you all there. So thank you so much for watching this video. My name's Tom, and Steve, do you want to do my ending for me?
No, I'm going to let you embarrass yourself.
And home is where your story begins. Well, you couldn't have done that for me? All right, thanks everybody. We'll see you in the next video.
Okay, bye.